Hi, Stitchers. Welcome to Tatreez Talk, where we share conversations about Palestinian embroidery. I'm Amani here with my co-host Lina, chatting with talented embroiderers and artists, sharing their stories, inspirations, and the cultural significance behind their work.
And on today's episode, we are chatting with the duo behind Ashghal el-Teta, Teta Zuhria, who is a tatreez enthusiast and crafts lover, and Suha, an interior architect, tatreez admirer, and lover of all handmade objects. Welcome to Tatreez Talk to you both.
Hi, Dina. Hi, Amani. Seriously, we
Hello.
want to thank you for your time and efforts in organizing this interview and giving us the chance to present our work and also talk about the trees. We can do this all day.
Yes, you are in good company.
Yeah, and the work that you guys do is absolutely stunning. We'll talk about that in a bit, but people are definitely going to be all over your work. It's really beautiful. But before we jump into that, we love to kind of start episodes and allow the listeners to get to know you guys a little bit more. So why don't we start by sharing a little bit about you and your family's connection to Palestine?
Absolutely. So we come from a small village in Palestine. It's called Samour. It's near Hebron area. I did not grow up there, but my mom did. I was born and raised in Dubai. So my connection to Palestine, basically, it was literally through her. We would go back and visit every couple of years. But yeah, I mean, it's a small village. It's filled with so many childhood memories, honestly. And it have a special place in my heart, absolutely. So maybe I will talk a little bit about my mother's connection to tatreez. Honestly, like I don't remember one day passing without my mom stitching. She would always have a side project, a side hustle, and these projects they vary. Sometimes they take months to finish, and sometimes just only days to do. But I have like one of my earliest memories of my mom sitting, sipping tea, quietly stitching while like the TV is on, playing in the background. She would always, as I said, have a project in hand, completely absorbed in the process, and she would be always curious about the different motifs and what they mean. I carried this curiosity from her. She even tackled at some point Eastern European embroidery art, which is it has a very similar technique to cross stitching. I think her deep affection started when she was around 7 or 8 years old. Growing up in a small village, you don't have a lot of entertainment, I would say. So she would nag on her mom and her grandmother to teach her tatreez. Yearning to learn the cross stitching technique from her mother and grandmother, they would often make her redo the pieces because they were not perfect according to their standards. So yeah, so that's basically she would tell me stories about these things. But she always craved doing her own thing, like developing her own sense of how motifs they come together, how to deconstruct the different patterns and reconstruct them in some a unique way. She would hide her work oftenly, just because she wanted like to work on a singular piece and present it to her grandmother and her mother. Eventually, when the pieces are completed, so she would experiment using colors, using different patterns, and as an architect, I joined her journey. I was always curious about the meaning of the different motifs as well. And together we created this sort of personalized artworks that blend our traditional heritage with the contemporary in a contemporary context.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to hear more about that. But before that, I wanted to ask you about your tatreez journey. Did you get inspired to practice and work with your mom, like with the actual stitching, or are you thinking more about other
Well,
aspects?
I do. I'm very, I'm not very comfortable with the trees. I'm doing it at a snail pace, honestly. Like it's pathetic. It's really
No, that's
embarrassing. I don't want to
okay.
talk
No.
about this. But usually I would love spending days and weeks working on digitizing the artwork. So my format is a little bit different than yours, and my mom's as well. So basically, I would spend weeks doing like different patterns, and I love deconstructing motifs. It's almost like Morse code in a way that you're trying to figure out like the different puzzle pieces, and the way you put them together, it would have a different meaning. So I'm obsessed with this, honestly. We co-founded this project actually when she became a Teta. So it's just to pay homage to her own Teta, and maybe to pass it on the next generations as well.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I love that like string of connection. And we always say there's different ways of doing tatreez. Like,
Yeah.
uh, art has evolved, and so we've seen and talked to so many people who've incorporated tatreez in different ways. And digitizing is hard. Digitizing is a lot of work. I'm curious
Even
too, because
playing
you
around
mentioned.
with colors.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, definitely. Playing around with colors is like that's the hardest thing, is like landing on what colors I want to like do. It's always the
And we
struggle.
always have a fight over colors, honestly. Mine is because I'm an interior architect, so mine is more muted. Hers is like she
Mm.
has a good eye for picking colors, but like she's saying she gets upset with me over this. But yeah, we manage.
It's the blending of two personalities.
Absolutely.
Well, you mentioned that about being an architect. So I'm curious if you could talk a little bit more about how your background as an architect has really informed your work with tatreez.
Because as an architect, we spent almost 5 years studying how to be the architect of the society, and they teach you this thoroughly. But the idea of maybe mixing media in which the tatreez is not even, it's not sitting in the background, it's actually, it has a story, and bridging the gap between the tradition and modern Palestinian creativity is such, there's so many ways to do so, and I think it's about storytelling and mixing different media, and something that resonates with people when they look at your artwork. I want the tatreez to jump out, to bridge the gap between them, for them to have a story and a real connection to it, rather than having an aesthetically pleasing piece. Tatreez in itself, it's rich. It's so rich. It has so many layers. But how can we develop it and take it to the next step? So it becomes part of our daily routine or daily lives. It becomes part of our modern spaces. That was a challenge, honestly, because it's very it's an intricate piece that you spend weeks developing, and how you can develop it in such a way that have a deeper meaning and a deeper connection. That's the real challenge for me. But studying architecture, you're taught about spaces, about how you can also write your own story through the space. It's something that we share with tatreez as well, and I feel like it adds another layer to our crafts.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, and now it makes also sense why you have this kind of almost, I guess, a collection maybe, or approach with the doors, Bab el-Dar. And so I guess for our listeners, the reason I came across Ashghal el-Teta is through a friend of mine who had commissioned a piece from you guys. And I'd love to hear that story, because I know the story from her perspective, but I'd be curious to hear, how did she come across your work, and what did she ask for? What did it mean to her? How did you go about the design? Because I think that really showcases that kind of collection that you guys include as part of Ashghal el-Teta.
Absolutely. Now, the friend that you were referring to, Dina, she's amazing. We cannot vouch enough for her, honestly. Like, we love her. This particular piece was especially dear to our heart because at the beginning she shared a couple of photos from her family collection, family album, and it wasn't for the door itself. It was for a family celebration, or the bidding farewell to a family member. So it wasn't the main focus in the photos. It was the family, the connection, and the door is sort of in the background, And once I knew this particular door was in Gaza, it was part of her home in Gaza. It had a bigger meaning to us. We hope one day she will be able to rebuild her home, using the exact same door, perhaps, inshallah. Every piece that we create carries the story of our heritage, but also it has a deep meaning sense of belonging with the family ties as well. Particularly Bab el-Dar, doors have a very special meaning to me. I'm obsessed with them. I think we spend a lot of time at the doors, saying hellos and goodbyes, and we're also connected in a way that symbolizes the right of return as well to some people who never set a foot in Palestine. So it's honestly like creating artworks like Bab el-Dar that resonates with many people allows us to share their stories and their memories, really founded memories. It creates also the space to celebrate this rich embroidery art in a way that Palestinian culture, in a way that feels more personal and also timeless, because it might be like I have memories of our door in Palestine. It has such a character, and it has like a very specific color. It's an ugly color, but it's part of our memory. But it's part of our memory, and believe it or not, we spent almost like being a Middle Eastern. You probably know this. We spend so many minutes saying goodbye to the guests, inviting them back again for another cup of coffee or something. Saying hellos would take forever, especially with my nephews nowadays. It's basically like we could spend like a good 15 minutes on the door. So for specifically for a client as Dina, it brought tears to our eyes, honestly, because it meant so much to her and her family. So it was it's an honor, honestly, to be working with such a beautiful client and also beautiful memories. Yeah, she's saying she stitched it with all of her heart. Honestly, it's yeah.
And I'm curious about, like, I'm looking at photos, and we're very bad at like remembering to ask our guests to share photos, because we can put them on the screen, but we'll hopefully share them on social media later. But I'm looking at some of the photos, and I know that like I'm curious about the actual, it's like you can see the tatreez and you can see the design, but the door itself is a different material, or it's painted. Can you share more about that?
Yeah, the door itself, we always have to develop our own craft. So at the beginning, it was a cardboard, but it has layers. So it has that 3D element that projecting out of the fabric itself. But later on, it became evident to us that we needed something that is resembling the actual door to make it more realistic. In the case of Dina, it was a cardboard, but we incorporated elements with 3D. Some of the doors, they're wooden, they're laser cut. So we're trying to incorporate as well modern technology, not so modern, but laser cutting techniques into our crafts. That's where the architecture comes in hands.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really cool. I'm curious, like, what do you see the next evolution of this collection being?
Now the amazing part is because we usually make it to order, so basically it's completely customizable. The amazing thing also is you can stitch the family name on top of the door or the city name or where you're from in Palestine. So it becomes actually yours. I think that's an amazing part, but maybe developing it in such a way that the door looks like a miniature of the actual door. So we're working on it. So that's would be taking it to the next step. And even like incorporating things in the frame would make it a little bit more, we try as much as we can to create this harmony between our modern interiors and then the way we frame our artworks. So we're working as well on it. We do have 3 different patterns for the al-Dar door. So you can pick and choose. You can pick all
Nice.
3 of them for your dining, like a long dining table. So it's basically a mix of both. I feel like it would be more realistic if I actually can open the door and maybe like
Mm.
we're still working on it, but
Yeah,
maybe
that'd be cool.
something more interactive where you can move things, you can hide things, perhaps maybe your keys. It becomes like a key hanger, something like that. Yeah.
Ooh, that's
So it
cool.
becomes
I
more
like.
functional. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like those ideas. And that's the architect is speaking, making
Yep.
things functional. I think that's so
Guilty.
beautiful. That's wonderful. No, I love it. I wanted to ask, you mentioned that you created Ashghal el-Teta when Teta Zuhria became a Teta. I'm curious about, can you share more about why that specific milestone felt like it was the right time to create it? Did you not have any, like, were there any other reasons why you wanted to sell tatreez as opposed to just making it for the home?
At the beginning, we weren't thinking about doing it as a business, honestly. It was just something to share online and just to tell the world that it could have different colors, it could have different patterns, and you can modernize it to use it as an everyday element in your home. We're used to pillows that are in black, stitched in red. So it doesn't really go with the whole aesthetic of our homes. So that's our starting point, I guess. And then it became evident to me, honestly, because at some point you need to grow in such a way that, you want to share this talent. You want to share these artworks and these art pieces with everybody else. Because at the beginning, I think we started honestly with al-Dar as being an artwork at our house, and then after that, we were commissioned to do a couple of them. So that's how we started playing around with tatreez in a more architectural way, I would say. When she became a Teta, I think it resonated with her that she wanted to pay homage to her own Teta as well, who taught her this craft. So it's something to develop and to continue growing to the next generations, I guess.
And with that, I'm curious, do you what do you want your customers or just people who come across your pieces, what do you want them to take from these pieces?
Yeah, our goal isn't just making art, honestly. It's telling a story that connects generation and, yes, while embracing new concepts that represents modern Palestinian art. But we want to celebrate the dynamic synergy between tradition and modernity in a way that resonates with these clients. Like in case of Dina, it holds something to her. It means something to her. And luckily, like most of our clients, we're blessed, alhamdulillah, with amazing clients that, you know, they understand our message and they understood what we're trying to do. And, you know, luckily they we're aligned in those terms. It's basically honoring our craftsmanship in such a way that has a meaning, a deep meaning, and in the spirit that also creates a space for innovation in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I remember when Dina got it completed, she sent a photo of her holding. She was so excited to share it. So I think it's also a great opportunity. I mean, it's preserving part of her story, and she can now share it with her kids and with her kids' kids and so forth. But I'm sure I'm 100% confident that when she has guests over, she's probably like, "You guys, come look at this beautiful piece that I got commissioned," and she can talk about this is the replica. Yeah, like this is the door from our home in Gaza, and you know, and she can tell everyone that story. So it's also something to talk about and help showcase the art form of tatreez in a way that's a little bit has like a very personalized touch. I'm also curious about like and so I'm really curious about if a client comes to you and they show interest in either al-Dar or maybe another different type of piece. What happens after they kind of place their order? Like how is the dynamic between you and Teta Zuhria as you like actually create the piece? Like I'm curious about how you guys work together. Do you digitize first and then she stitches? Like how does that process look like?
Okay. Honestly, it depends on the project itself. For example, for al-Dar, the patterns are already set, so my job is done. Almost. But then comes the idea of choosing like a color palette. So that's when the fight happens usually. I'm all for, you know, creating a muted, more a peaceful kind of color palette. But subhanAllah, she has like an eye for picking colors that go together. I should listen more to her. I know.
It's on the record now.
But yeah, sometimes. Yeah. Oh, oops. I need to call my lawyer right now. So basically, it starts with picking the threads, and we always need some feedback from the clients. So basically, we would tell them, what's your color palette at home? Where do you want to hang the pieces? Is it your home? Is it your office? So we start off with a basic kind of color palette, and then we build on it. We usually have like, especially when it comes to picking colors, I feel like it would be more interesting if you have two colors from the same family, and then you add on it. It just helps with the composition as a whole. It ties it together. So we start with that, and then after that, we need their approval because at the end of the day, it's their home they're going to hang it in or their office. So it has a lot of back and forth between us and the clients. So we agree on the color palettes, on the type of wood that we're going to use, and on the shape of the door, because we have so many the variation of the door. Some would have steps, others would have like an arch to the shape. And then we work with accessories and the type of the theme that they want and so forth. But that's basically the process. And the stitching is all done by her.
Yeah, so I'm a slow stitcher. So how long does it take to stitch like these pieces? Because they're beautiful, they're intricate. So how long does that process take?
For example, al-Dar, it takes around 10 days to 2 weeks to perfect. So basically, we're not fast as well. So we take our time and we try as much as we can to perfect it because we don't want to do a rushed job and, we don't work with deadlines, luckily. And our clients, they do understand that it takes time. It takes a lot of sleepless nights, I would say. But, eventually they would have something that they will be proud to present to whoever visits their home.
I mean, 10 days to 2 weeks is pretty quick in my book.
I'm like, to me, that's fast.
I was like, that's really fast. Yeah.
She's a master.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
She's a model. Okay. She's saying, no, I'm slow. Slow. Don't believe
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, it speaks for itself. If it's 2 weeks, that's pretty fast, I think.
Yeah.
She's defending herself. She's only stitching at night. That's what she's saying.
Wow. Honestly, that's like I think also it's just, again, reiterating to people, like, this is not something that gets done overnight. It is a lot of work. It's very intensive. It's very detail oriented. And if you're listening to this and you still have not stitched, like, please pick up a needle and thread and stitch so you understand what goes in. Because like two weeks, even if she is just doing it at night, that's still a lot. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work to put into to a piece. So yeah, it's always very impressive when you see someone who can build something and see it from beginning to end.
Yeah. So how you mentioned, you mentioned some like ideas that are floating in your mind and things you want to explore, but what's really next for Ashghal el-Teta? Like, what are the other projects that maybe you guys are working on right now? What are we looking forward to? Yeah.
We just started working on one artwork. We cannot share a lot of details until it's done, but honestly, it's not a good start because we're already fighting over colors and like precision. It's a little bit. It requires more patience, and I think it will take us around 1 to 1 month and a half to perfect. It has a lot of stitching, but we're really excited in exploring that. I cannot wait to share it with you once it's done, honestly, because we've done something similar to this, but not as detailed as this one. So
is it related to al-Dar, or it's a completely different, completely new?
You know what? It is. It's
basically it is related. Okay.
It's the plural of Dar, basically.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to be patient.
So many houses. That's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It looks like a backdrop of a certain city.
Ooh. Okay. I'm excited.
Very cool. Yeah. Also, okay, this is a little detour, but one thing I was meaning to ask you both, I know you guys are originally min al-Khalil, and like Khalili tatreez is beautiful, stunning, and it is an area that is known for beautiful, dense, elaborate tatreez designs. So I know you are creating these pieces for other people, but how has that history of like kind of Khalili tatreez traditions like weaved into the work that you guys do?
So if you ask my mom, she would tell you, no, Khalili tatreez is not that intense. Bir Saba is. which
Oh,
is
yeah.
contrary to all the books that I've read. It's the other way around. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. So, going back, I have memories of my aunties stitching. They would always work on pieces on the side. Um, so I think maybe it's my mom. She doesn't like a lot of intensity in her stitching. She doesn't like full embroidery pieces, the one in Bir Saba or Al Khalil, because they use it as it becomes you can no longer see the fabric itself because of the amount of stitching that is created on the thought panels as well. I feel like ours is more taking the meaning of it, deconstructing it, and maybe layering it as well. We have few pieces that are laying around, but you cannot almost notice that this is tatreez because we've used it in such a delicate matter that it looks handmade, but it unless you're standing right in front of it, you would notice that this is tatreez. We have a piece that we basically stitched white on beige, so you almost have to see the 3D effect of the tatreez. So it takes almost like the back seat in a way. We do have something similar to this. This is also tatreez, but we layered it with the phrase إني اخترتك يا وطني. I've chosen you. I don't know if you can see it.
A little bit, yeah. Can't see the writing. You guys have to send us a picture, and we'll have to post the picture of the piece.
Will do. So basically, we've used it in such a way that it becomes part of our daily life, but in such a smart way, I would say. For example, this one, it connects all the stitches from the northern areas of Palestine till the south areas, but in a way that it doesn't feel heavy. It has a deeper meaning. It has a deeper understanding of the stitches. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, but maybe we don't use the heaviness in Khalili tatreez as it is. So it has layers. It has a deeper meaning of the different motifs and what they mean and how they connect to each other. And yeah.
Oh, sorry. Was Teta saying something?
She's saying the city itself, they don't do stitches. We're picking a beat with the Khalili people, apparently.
I'm not answering that.
Only Fallahi people, yes. Only Fallahi people do tatreez.
Yes,
the city people. Yes.
Fair, yes.
Yeah, all the villagers are like this, the Fallahi people. But I feel like the city, they're too busy doing their daily lives. They're maybe engaged in so different art forms. They usually do different art forms, but maybe even on a commercial level, maybe they're busy with having their own businesses. They don't have time to do tatreez.
Yeah, I know Khalil is really popular for the pottery as another art form.
So many crafts, like
so many,
come from Khalil, like so many beautiful, like very distinctly Palestinian crafts.
Yeah, absolutely. The ceramics, they're something else, honestly.
Yeah. So then life was different in the village than El Khalil, the city. Like it's a very distinctly different experience growing up there.
تسألك إذا كانت الحياة مختلفة بين المدينة وبين القرية.
أكيد ما في اختلاف.
شو هي؟
يعني اللي بيشتغلوا بالقرية مش زي اللي بيشتغلوا في المدينة. بس تقريبا نفس الإشي صار هلا بس أول لا.
She's saying nowadays it's almost the same, but back in the day it used to be very different. So you would have so many tasks to do in the village rather than the city. And the commute, she was telling me about the commute. It takes almost their day, honestly.
Yeah.
To go from the village to the city, it's troublesome, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. I can imagine. Okay, this has been so wonderful. I can't wait to see the new project, anything else that you guys come up with. I love watching your work, and I just, from Dina herself, I remember, she spoke so highly of working with you guys and creating something so memorable and personalized. We always love to end our episodes by asking if there are any major life lessons that either you or Teta Zuhria have learned from tatreez.
Absolutely. I'm going to direct this question to her because ايش تعلمت بالتطريز مثلا؟
تعلمت
أكيد
الصبر وبعدين اختيار الألوان كيف أختار. بعدين أنا بحس إنه في إلي يعني في علي مسؤولية لما بخيط لازم يعني الإشي يطلع بيرفكت، يعني مش أي تطريز، لازم يطلع حلو ويعجب الكلاينت وأنا أكون فخورة بحالي. يعني هلا لما بكون أنا أخيط بحس إنه إلي مكانتي، إلي وضعي. طبعا الفضل إلك برجع.
No. So what she said is basically taught her patience. That's the first thing, how to choose colors. And I didn't know this, but like taking responsibility, because it's about you're designing something that goes into someone else's home. So this, yes, it's an opportunity, but it's also an honor because someone opened their homes for you, their houses and their hearts as well. So this resonates as well with us. It's basically, honestly, I didn't know this before. Like, yeah, I mean, it's about patience. It's about, creating beautiful pieces that have a deeper connection, a deeper meaning to people, and that means something. And we want to continue this journey into learning more and even developing our crafts, because we need to take it to the next level. Obviously, yes, we can create it as it is, but then what's next? If you don't develop your own heritage and take it to the next level, it might be left behind, honestly. So yeah, I mean, let's do tatreez. I want to pick up the needle right now and do my own project.
بعدين بحب أخيط إشي جديد. بحس إنه هيك بيطلع إشي حلو، يعني بستعجل فيه عشان أشوف النتيجة.
Whenever she starts a new project, she's basically too eager to finish it, and she cannot wait until like she sees the full results or the whatever comes out of the project. So yeah, I'd like to thank you really, Lina and Zamani, for this. This was honestly, it's like therapy.
Oh, that's great to hear. No, thank you guys for being here and for sharing your work. How can people find you guys? How can people find your work? On social, on your website, anywhere online?
So we're called Ashghal el-Teta, Grandma's Crafts, and our only page is on Instagram. So they can follow us there. And we usually don't post a lot of things. We don't post regularly, but when we do, it's whenever we have a new project, we would share it with everyone else.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
We'll have the links for that. I highly encourage people to check out the work. It's really beautiful, and you'll get a great idea of the skill that it goes into these pieces. So yes, mashallah, mashallah. It's beautiful. I love that. Teamwork. And you know what? That's how it's always been, mother-daughter.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful to see. So thank you both. No, go ahead.
لازم أنا أستشيرها. لازم أي إشي بدي أعمله لازم أستشيرها. بضلني مسجات على الواتساب.
Not to that extent. What she's saying is basically she needs to consult with me every now and then in terms of the colors that I'm obsessed. Am I a freak? I'm not sure if I'm a control freak or not, but maybe that's my sign.
We all are. We all are.
Yeah.
Well, thank you both again. We appreciate your time, and we will talk to you both soon.
Thank you so much.
So glad we had that conversation. Their work is so, so beautiful. Like we said, we'll put the links for everyone to check out, but highly encourage everyone to check out their work. It's absolutely stunning and so creative.
Yeah, I was just telling you that just before we hit record, like now I'm like really curious to find photos of my Teta's home in Nablus, if I can get a photo of the door, because that would be such a beautiful piece to pull together, and really helps you feel more connected to your home if you can. And even if you don't have a home in Palestine right now, imagining what's possible, you know, given the knowledge that we do have until we can go back. So yeah, it's really, really beautiful. I loved everything that she shared. Her architecture background came through
100%. It's so cool.
Love. And it's making me think also about like pieces in my home, because my cousin's wife is an architect, and it's interesting. I feel like architects, they love like clean aesthetic, sharp edges, whites, beiges, because that's how my cousin's wife is too. But the way that they integrate tatreez is really beautiful. It's very like minimal but beautiful. It has like, yeah. Anyways, so exciting. And to you, dear listener, thank you for listening to another episode of Tatreez Talk. We want to hear about your tatreez journey, so please share your stories with us either at tatreeztalk@gmail.com, on the website, DM us, and we might just have you on an upcoming episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite listening platform, and be sure to leave a 5-star review. You can follow me at Lina Stob, Amani at Min Amani, and of course, follow the pod at Tatreez Talk. We will talk to you soon.